Greetings and welcome to Pop Culture Beasts Halloween Horror Picks, the show where I recommend off-the-beaten-path horror movies for your Halloween movie night. I'm your host, Ryan Stockstad, and today we're going to the UK to talk about an unconventional, genre-bending vampire movie that I'd rank near the very top of my all-time favorite Hammer horror films.
One man dared to make a stand against this evil epidemic. One man dared to hurl a challenge of cold steel against the terror of the undead. He was Captain Kronos, Vampire Hunter.
Captain Kronos Vampire Hunter, 1974. This movie was quite a departure from the rest of the Hammer vampire flicks that came before it. They'd already made 8 films in their acclaimed Dracula series, but those movies often portrayed the vampire in a sympathetic light. There's none of that in Kronos. At the time the film was made, Hammer was looking to change its image, and they were game for fresh takes on old legends. This is evidenced by a number of other early 70s Hammer vampire films, notably Vampire Circus and the eroticized Karnstein trilogy that includes The Vampire Lovers, Lust for a Vampire, and Twins of Evil. But Captain Kronos stands out even from those breaks from tradition. This was a first and only directing effort by Brian Clemmens, which is a tragedy because his direction here is both stylish and confident. He did, however, manage to rack up a number of writing credits, including on this, but also Dr. Jekyll and Sister Hyde, The Golden Voyage of Sinbad, and Highlander 2: The Quickening.
Your health, Doctor.
Thank you. Witchcraft and necromancy. The book.
Oh, it was my father's. At long last, I'm setting his library to rights.
Witchcraft and necromancy.
Captain Kronos features John Cater, Caroline Munro, John Carson, Shane Briant, Lois Daine, and Ian Hendry. And it stars Horst Jansen as the debonair, pot-smoking, meditating, swashbuckling hero who roams the English countryside slaughtering vampires. Jansen was a German actor who reminds me so much of George Lazenby that I'm convinced he'd have made an excellent James Bond. It's reported that his German accent was difficult to understand, and his lines had to be completely dubbed by Julian Holloway. But the director contests some of this, claiming that his accent was actually pretty good, and he wished he'd fought the studio harder to keep Jansen's original delivery.
You're mystified? Well, you've a right to be. Grost ringed the forest with dead toads. If a vampire should be strode close to the grave of a dead toad, then the vampire life shall give, and suddenly the toad shall live. It's an old folk rhyme, and like most of them, there's a grain of truth in it.
The movie opens in the countryside, where young girls are being attacked by a mysterious figure who leaves them hideously aged and drained of all youth. local sawbones, Dr. Marcus, is at a loss. He summons Kronos, who quickly arrives with his loyal friend and assistant, the hunchbacked Grost.
Dr. Marcus, it is commonly supposed that a vampire attacks in only one way, by biting the neck and draining the victim of blood.
But that's true.
The girls you spoke of, they were not drained of blood, but of youth, of life itself. You see, Doctor, there are as many species of vampire as there are beasts of prey. Their methods and their motive for attack can vary in 100 different ways.
Poor lovely Carla, played beautifully by a barefoot Caroline Munro, makes up the final member of this hunting party. And soon, the four of them are hot on the trail of the elusive, life-sucking vampire. The mystery takes them to the royal Durward residence, where the sickly old matriarch lies bedridden, as her smarmy, incestuous children provide care. But who's the vampire? They all make likely suspects.
We are Durwards, remember. Thoroughbreds. The Durwards have always been renowned for their youthfulness.
Mother is a Durward.
By marriage, not by birth. What has happened to Mother will not happen to us, dear sister. I promise you. It will not happen to us.
There's an especially harrowing sequence where, after having been bitten by the vampire, Dr. Marcus begs to be killed. But in this movie, one vampiric bloodline is as unique as any other. So discovering this particular strain's weakness means tormenting their good friend, as Kronos and Grost try one cure after another. Captain Kronos is an inventive, exciting, and thoroughly enjoyable vampire movie that succeeds by tossing out old cliches in favor of new thrills. It's also erotic and very sexy, with beautifully photographed lovemaking scenes. It doesn't hurt that Caroline Munro is the female lead, as she exudes sex appeal with every move.
Mother and sister fall into the scourge of vampirism. Had to destroy them. To bare their breasts, take a sharpened stake and drive it through their hearts.
Unfortunately, following Kronos, between 1974 and 1979, Hammer only made 6 films. Gothic horror had gone out of style, and the company lost money on far too many movies, including this one. It's a shame because Captain Kronos could have been a wonderful franchise.
Time to make our move, my friend. Time to kill a vampire.
If you're looking to watch a vampire movie that will keep you guessing with original characters and a creative story, my recommendation is Captain Kronos Vampire Hunter. I watched the 2003 Paramount DVD for this episode, and it contains a really great commentary track with Brian Clemmens and Caroline Munro. There's also an Australian Blu-ray for those of you who have a Region B or Region Free Blu-ray player. Thanks for watching Pop Culture Beasts Halloween Horror Picks. I'm your host, Ryan Stockstad. This season, we're devoting all Monday episodes to Part 2 horror sequels. So be sure to like us on Facebook and subscribe right here on the Pop Culture Beast YouTube channel for new episodes every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, right up through Halloween. Thanks again for watching. Watch horror movies. I'll see you next time.